we got punched in the gut a couple times, and we stayed the course and knew if we played good team Texas Rangers baseball, we were going to be just fine. So we got one more game to play, and hopefully be leaving on top here.
Jonah, do you guys discuss a strategy like walking Alvarez without a base open before the game, or is that a in the moment it's 2-0 decision?
No, that's more of a manager's decision. We kind of talked to Mad Dog saying that we don't want this guy beating us, so kind of tailor a game plan around that way, but there's never any we're going to walk this guy. So and we trust Evo to make the pitches that we need anyways, so that's more of the manager's department.
What's the mindset of this team going into Game 7?
Hopefully it's whatever we did today. We know they're going to bring their best stuff, and we're going to give them our best game. So it's been a hard-fought series so far, and hopefully the trend continues of no home team winning.
What do you say?
The Rangers were throwing their ace tonight, and we did the same down in Houston. Doug Dunbar going back to his sports roots at Minute Maid Park tonight. And Doug, I got to tell you, Adolis Garcia, there was no better way to end that baseball game with all the boos cascading down there at Minute Maid Park, and then Garcia shuts them all up with a grand slam.
Dude, I got to say, I hope it resonated, honestly, on television, because my perspective, obviously, was inside the ballpark. And I have to say, I was not looking. The first time Garcia came up, I wasn't looking at the field, and I heard this resounding boo, like something really bad had happened. And I looked up, and it's Adolis, and he's at the plate. But then when he struck out, and they booed him every single pitch, but when he struck out, you would have thought they had punched their ticket to the World Series. That's what it sounded like inside Minute Maid Ballpark here tonight. You know, the other part of it, going back to the beginning of the night and coming into the ballpark, I think Astros fans honestly pretty much felt that they had this thing sewn up. A lot of them talking about, yeah, we're not going to see you tomorrow, yada yada, onto the World Series. And there was an air of confidence without question. And listen, you know, you hope you say that for your home team, obviously, but I don't think they saw what happened tonight coming. Not that we saw it either, right? Let's be real, but they didn't see it coming, and I think it put a lot of people in doubt as they walk out tonight, because there was a fair amount of people on the way out shaking their heads and, you know, seemingly a little bit unsure maybe about a Game 7. Remember, neither of these teams have won in their home ballpark. Understand Marcus Semien just spoke just a few minutes ago. Let's listen to what he had to say about what unfolded here tonight.
You know, it's hard to explain. I think, you know, as a home player, the last 3 games, you know, times where the crowd expects something big every time when you're up, and, you know, I'm not saying we put pressure on ourselves at home, but, you know, maybe there's something to that in this series. You know, whatever the case may be, we get a Game 7, want to play just as well as we did tonight and even better.
What do you expect from Max tomorrow?
Max is a gamer. I think that regardless of what he did last start, he's ready, he's prepared, he does the most homework I've ever seen a starting pitcher do on every single opponent, all the way down to the bench players. I'm excited to see Game 7 Max.
Marcus, what can you say about the way Nathan has pitched in this postseason?
That's why we got him. You know, I think CY in the offseason is looking for that type of guy who can get us quality starts in the postseason, because I know CY's goal is to win World Series, and you need that type of dog mentality out of your starters, and that's exactly what we got.
Is there any way in your mind that this season would not involve a Game 7 at some point, the way it's evolved?
We didn't have a
Marcus Semien just a few minutes ago. Bill Jones, you know, it's interesting because you and I look at a sport like this, like baseball, from 2 different perspectives. I'm mostly on the fan side. You're obviously a guy on the inside who has much more contact with players and coaches. I'm curious your perspective, what this does tonight, what happened, the way it ended with Adolis, with that huge exclamation point, as you put it. What does that do for us for tomorrow night?
I think, you know, there's a saying in baseball, Doug, that momentum is only as strong as your starting pitcher the next day. And as was alluded to in that interview with Marcus Semien, it will be Max Scherzer who will be starting for the Rangers tomorrow night against Christian Javier. And when you go back and look at Max Scherzer's time with the Rangers after he was acquired in the trade from the New York Mets, he pitched very well in August and on up until September 12th when he had to leave with the upper back injury that put him on the shelf for more than a month. I look at it as his start the other night was basically his rehab start. I did not expect him to be able, without any rehab outing, to be able to pitch in a postseason game effectively. Well, now he's got that start under his belt, and I look for a better performance from Max Scherzer tomorrow night. Plus, he's been a big game pitcher throughout his career. This will be his 29th postseason game. I understand we've got Bruce Bochy. Let's hear what the Rangers manager is saying about this 9-2 win over the Astros tonight.
He's done it so many times. He has the ability, to rise to the occasion. He's got great stuff. You start with that, but the makeup of this man, he's just amazing. He wants to be out there in a game like this, and he's got great stuff. 4 pitches, and he's got really good focus. Maniacal focus on every pitch, and it's been fun to watch him. It's been fun to get to know him, and he's the guy we needed out there tonight, and he set the tone. We needed him. Of course, early runs help, but what a great job he did.
Go to Newey back in the left.
Boch, can you confirm if Scherzer's your starter? And for some folks in America who have not seen your team, and this is their first time catching them, can you speak to that resiliency that your club has played with?
Yeah, first of all, Max is starting, so he gets the nod tomorrow. And we've talked about this so many times. During the season, we've had our ups and downs. We've had some tough streaks, injuries, but these guys keep getting up, and they keep bouncing back. And it's about being resilient in this game, because it doesn't matter if it happens or not. It's more how you handle it. And so these guys have done a great job of, putting that behind them. And, tough loss in Game 5, and this is a must-win. I just love the way they responded and went out there and put together a great ball game. Contribution throughout the lineup. They all threw out some good at-bats. Of course, early runs were nice. Garber's home run, Jonah's home run. But it's a good add-on on the end too. It allowed me to, rest Leclerc a little bit.
Go to Christie in the third row on your right.
So much is always made about home field advantage, but in this series it hasn't mattered. Why do you think that's happened in the series?
Wow, I wish I could answer that one. That's a $1 million question. Obviously, we wanted to win some games at home, but it didn't happen, and they play unbelievable on the road. You look at their record, but it's a very, I think, balanced clubs here that do a lot of things well. They pitch well. They have a good offense, and we've been pitching well, and we have a good offense too. So, but I can't explain that. I wish I could, or we do, or we would have done a better job at home.
We'll go to Steve in the fourth row on your right.
Bruce, looking at that bottom of the 8th inning, it looked like there was some by-the-gut managing going on. You went with a right-hander to face Alvarez, who strikes him out and gets him out for the first time. It was when you talked about the decisions on leaving Spores in and then also bringing in Leclerc to face a left-hander in Tucker.
Right. There are guys, so lefty or righty, I have no problem bringing them in. Sometimes you can overdo the matchup type thing, and it's not like Alvarez doesn't hit left-handers. He hits everybody. He's such a talent, and so. But we had our guy out there, and Sporzy made some great pitches there on him. So I'm comfortable with righties facing lefties. You look at the series. I know a lot of lefties have been out there, but you get in a game like this, we were going with our guys.
Go to the third row on your left.
Talking about that 8th inning there, Doug, I thought it was amazing what the bullpen did tonight. Josh Spores coming on, getting the double play to end the 7th inning, and then they go to Leclerc, the closer, in the 8th inning. What I thought was amazing, and I think it may show the difference of the depth of the Rangers team and the Astros team. The last out there in the 8th inning, the strikeout of the pinch hitter, John Singleton. John Singleton is a 170 hitter in his career. He's 32 years old. He last played in the big leagues in 2015, and that's who the Astros are pinch hitting against Jose Leclerc. And Leclerc, of course, won that battle, got the strikeout to end the inning, and then the Rangers tack on 5 runs in the 9th inning for a blowout win. This game was a lot closer than the 9-2 score indicates.
Yeah, I would concur with that. Can I also say just a tip of the cap to Bruce Bochy for saying out loud what the rest of us are feeling in the same boat. No team can win at home, and there's no real answer for that, right? If Bruce Bochy doesn't have an answer to that, then none of us could possibly come close to an answer. It's weird, it's odd, it doesn't make sense, but it's the cards that have been dealt, at least in this series. So as we look forward to Game 7, if I could take you, Bill, for 1 second back to Scherzer, and again, I would wonder your thoughts. Did last Wednesday, was what we saw in the bad outing as it was that kind of the breaking of the ice for him, the getting rid of the comeback nerves? Do you feel is that okay? We've got that done and out of the way, and now we'll see hopefully the Max Scherzer that we're used to seeing, and obviously the one that we want to see for a Game 7. What are your thoughts?
My impression of Max Scherzer, and his history pitching postseason baseball goes back to 2011 when the Rangers were in the American League Championship Series the last time. He was pitching for the Detroit Tigers for the first time in the postseason in his career in that series. This is a guy who just 4 years ago in 2019 pitched against the Astros in the World Series. He started Game 1 and Game 7, both Washington victories when they won the World Championship over these Houston Astros. And so I think he lives for these big moments like this. If you look back at his start the other night, he went 1-2-3 in the first inning, and I think what he would tell you is that his command was off, and that's one of the big things that a pitcher has to have to get outs, is to have good command. And so I think Ranger fans should hope anyway that was the start that he needed to get on track. The other thing is tomorrow night it will be all hands on deck as far as the pitching staff is concerned. The only guy who won't be used tomorrow for sure is Nathan Eovaldi. Just about everybody else will be available. Let's hear what Nathaniel Lowe is having to say in that Rangers clubhouse tonight.
I don't know. That's a hard-fought W, so I don't know if I call that destiny, but Game 7 is going to be pretty fun.
Describe what the matches were tonight out there in a do or die.
I don't know. We had a lot of confidence in our guy, so not really surprised to see Evo go deep again and do what he does, and pitch himself out of some pretty nice jams there, and we made some pretty nice plays behind him, got some timely hits, and then obviously put him away late. So anytime we can jump out to a lead like that late, that's what you're looking for.
Okay. And as you're saying, tomorrow should be able to win in store.
I mean, yeah, that's what we play for. We're not showing up to lose Game 7, but yeah, it feels pretty cool to come down to the wire with these guys, and it feels right to play Game 7 here. That's kind of odd, isn't it? Especially with how supportive these fan bases are on both sides, and you'd think we could scratch one out at home and then feel like they could get one here, but I wouldn't change it now. 3-3 coming into the last one, and I'm not going to say anything else.
How comfortable do you feel here on the road? You've been doing all your winning on the road since you got here.
Yeah, we're just putting together good at bats and making pitches we need to, making plays we need to. So regardless of whether we're at home or here or playing anywhere else in the league, we're pretty confident in what we got.
Nathaniel Lowe in that Rangers clubhouse, a victorious clubhouse tonight. And you know what, Doug Dunbar? There could be some champagne flowing in that clubhouse tomorrow night. And you know what, Doug? I think I just might go ahead and join you down in Houston tomorrow. How about we pop some champagne tomorrow night in the Rangers clubhouse? What do you think?
Bill Jones, I was just thinking the same thing. It's time for a Bill Jones champagne shower, as we always look forward to. And you and I and the rest of the CBS News Texas team, we go all the way back to 2011. We go all the way back to Game 7 in St. Louis. We go all the way back to the heartbreak. We'd love an opportunity, as you well know, to rewrite that story. And it's all going to come down to tomorrow night. At least we've got a shot.
Hey, Doug, I go all the way back to 1996, the first Rangers champagne celebration in a clubhouse. And so let's have another one tomorrow night. Doug,
I wasn't going to bring it up, but
that's how old I am. Hey, Doug, we'll see you tomorrow down in Houston, and we've got more Rangers coverage coming your way.